for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Councillor Smith moving, Councillor Erickson second. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Item 3A, public hearing record for July 23rd. Motion to receive, please.
So moved.
Okay, Councillor Daigle, seconder.
I'll second.
Okay, Councillor Medlock, seconding. All those in favor? Contrary, motion is carried. Item 3B, regular meeting of the council for July 23rd. Motion to adopt the minutes, please.
Second.
Councillor Erickson moving, Councillor Daigle seconding. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Thank you. No delegations tonight. Item 5A, report from our acting chief administrative officer. Yeah. Okay, and our CEO will take that over here.
Yes, Your Worship, Council. This report is ideally to have your endorsement of the board recommendations for Advantage Hope. There were 2 vacancies this time around, 3 applicants, and as you know, the board asks a series of questions and ranks candidates upon qualifications, desires, experience, but also what the board feels they need as far as areas of expertise to move economic development and tourism further downfield. So in this case, they've looked at the 3, they've ranked them, and they have put forward Dale Monrad and Simon Nam. Now, many of you may recall Simon Nam, who's a longtime hotelier here in Hope. So we have included their applications to the board, stating their relative, again, qualifications, history, experience, and interest. And with these 2, that should bring the board up to strength on paper.
Okay. It's the intent of council to ratify those folks? Yep.
So I was looking through the forms they filled out, but it seems to be pretty weak on economic development, not bad for tourism. Is there something that could be done there for economic development? I know it's only 3 that we got, but.
So we had 3. What the board does is overall they look at their mandate clearly is economic development, and tourism is a part of that. So they change the matrix from time to time depending on the strategic economic development plan and also the work plan to see what expertise they need. And it is quite rare for members of the general public, unless they are in economic development as a profession or avocation, to actually have that experience. So as individuals apply, they'll have aspects of that, experience, qualification, and desire, but unless you hire an economic development person, rarely will you get that, Your Worship, in one person.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Medlock.
Yeah, I know both of these individuals, and they are both entrepreneurs and definitely open businesses and been successful. So I think that's why the board was favorable towards the 2 of them, and I think they'll make great directors on the board.
Okay, motion to ratify Mr. Monrad and Mr. Nam to the board of directors.
I'll move that.
Okay.
Second.
Councillor Daigle, Councillor Smith, and yes, Councillor Stu in the comments.
So I'm also a liaison for Advantage Hope, and I just for the record want to say that the discussion took place in camera. I was not present, and I do not have a vote at the table for Advantage Hope. I am aware that 2 names are coming forward, but I have had no participation in the discussion and feel comfortable voting on this.
Okay. Perfect. Motion is on the table. All those in favor? Contrary? Motion is carried. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll keep the mayor's report relatively short. Had the honor to attend the Seventh Day Adventist annual conference for the opening service, thanks to Councillor Erickson's invite, so that was very nice. Delivered best wishes on behalf of the district, and thank them for spending their money in our community for a week, because they're always amazing guests, and they fill up our community nicely, and it's always nice to see so many people pursuing their faith. And that's how many, Councillor Erickson, how many were there this year, do you think?
Well,
roughly.
We don't have a complete number, but every facility was packed. Like from the kids to the young adults to the adults. It's 3 hours. Tuesday, Wednesday was a little bit light, had some spare room, but the weekends were totally full, so they know at least 6,000 in there.
Yeah.
6,000.
So Hope just doubled in size for a week.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what
the big
that is.
problem they're having over there is, fire. You have to really, they're talking about they have to really work ways for fire suppression. They have a couple fire trucks, but if fire was up, there's only one access out.
Right.
And that's, well, there's two accesses, but one main access out.
Yeah.
And they're really concerned since we have it so hot. That's the main concern that they have.
I know Fire Chief DeSorsi tours and liaises with the fire staff
He
annually.
was out a couple times or 3 times,
Yeah.
that's what they said.
And the big issue for us is the camp is strictly out of our boundary or jurisdiction, so we have mutual aid with our neighbors. So we prepare every year for this influx of visitors at the camp.
But it went smoothly.
It was really good, yeah.
Yeah.
All I know, just one other thing, all I know of the vegetarian burgers at A&W, they were out all the time. All I know, because I know several people over there, no, we're out, they want to get, oh, we're out. I guess A&W has some vegetarian burgers over there, so.
And they're good.
They're,
Like,
okay, so,
Yeah, never tried it. Have to try them, I guess. And then yesterday I went on that Search for Shawnee, that event that was organized by the Chihuahua, the young woman who's missing in our community. There's posters up everywhere, and there's police have been very active in trying to locate her, but as of yet, to no avail. So it was a well-organized event. They had about, I think, 32 people show up for the search, and I met a couple of nice new folks that I hadn't met before, and then they also had lunch for us, which was very good. But definitely a sad time for the family, not knowing what happened to their daughter. So. Little notation here from the Rec Commission. Had a Rec Commission meeting today, and there is, we reviewed a report, and that was pertaining to the use of geothermal energy in the 3 facilities, the arena, the pool, and potentially the curling club. And the Rec Commission is going to pursue grant funding to see if money is available to make that happen. There'd be a geothermal component and potentially a solar component as well, and we would be pursuing the 17-cent grant, similar to the one that we received for the sewage treatment plant. So it's just exploratory at this point because we don't know if we have a chance, but if we don't apply, we obviously don't have a chance. So we'll look at it, and also for a similar grant, we're going to, I understand staff is going to look at potentially reapplying for the Othello Road project.
Yes.
So, and I believe the deadline for that is the end of August, so we have to put the pedal to the metal on it to make sure that that is.
We'll get it sorted, Your Worship.
Yeah. So.
it's tough riding up Othello Road.
Yeah.
Really rough road.
Yeah, and we need a new one there, so it'll be good to get that. I understand as well, through talking to our administrator, that the remuneration task force, I think they're probably due to the summer timing. One gentleman applied to become part of it, but there were no additional folks in the community that wanted to serve in the summer, so I guess maybe we'll put that one to bed for now, and then the new council can take a look at it if they so choose. That would be my recommendation to council, given the timeline is involved, if council's amenable to that. And councilors' reports. Councilor Smith.
All right, quick and easy for me. Attended the Lions Club and Yale Historic barrel race this weekend. It was awesome. Scott's part of the Lions Club there. They did a great job. I think they had 56 barrels. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've never been to the tea house or anything like that in Yale. I actually drove around Yale for the first time. Did a tour of Yale. Didn't take long. But it's pretty cool. Great seeing all the local businesses taking part in it. I think that's just something that can compound into a bigger event too, because I didn't go down to the World Street party they had, but seen some live video and it looked awesome down there, so I was on the lake instead. And then the other thing for Hope Brigade Days, they've got 24 baseball teams for this coming fall, for this coming Brigade Days for the 50th anniversary, which is going to be the biggest they've ever had, even in years past. Dan Small's heading that big time. He's done a good job getting everybody, all the hotels are already pretty much booked up, so I have people coming to stay at our shop property just because they can't even get a campsite, so just to get people in, which is good. And obviously the town, Brigadiers would like to thank the town I didn't attend the last meeting, but they asked me to say thanks for putting up all the posters around town and stuff like that too, all the street light banners. They look awesome with all the local businesses on there on the bottom. I think it's great, especially for the last little hit here for the last hit of summer. I think it's good. So lots going on for Brigade Days. I haven't attended any meetings. I've just done a little bit of email contact, but I know they're getting ready, along with Home Motorsports Group is going to be pushing on one of the biggest events they've done, especially for prize money and stuff too. So it should be a big support this year, I think. I hope everybody can attend and tell your friends and family to come out and spend the weekend. So other than that, nothing else.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Darrell.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Councillor Stu.
Thank you. I attended 2 webinar series on climate action and where the province is heading in the next 40 years with climate action. It was good to hear that you said that we were looking at options to be more climate friendly, and I thought, well, put it to use for a change. It was dry. And attended an Advantage Hope meeting. They reduced their quorum down to 5, and so we were able to have a meeting. Interesting note that they are being approached to find other ways to apply for the Rural Dividend Fund. And so looking for different projects that can be done using that fund. And also the branding topic. They're looking at ways to, look at their rebranding of Advantage Hope. So that was a really good meeting, and glad I attended. And that's all I have to report. Oh, I want to say thank you to the Hope Fire Department. There was a fire in Silver Creek recently, and it was close to our house. And so I just want to say how quickly they responded to that fire, and just, it was awesome. Really, really good job by our fire department. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stu. Good point on that. Councillor Medlock.
Yeah, it's an Advantage Hope meeting. Councillor Stewart touched on it all already there, but I think one of the big things they're doing is they're calling it rebranding, but I think it's really branding in the first place. I don't know that they ever really had a brand that was managed by them. It was sort of decided by the community and outward looking in as to what Advantage Hope really was all about. So they're looking to come up with a communication plan and maybe a logo change, things like that, but basically just so that they can manage their reputation through branding. So I think that's a really good exercise to go through. And yeah, a lot of good questions came out of that meeting as to who the audience was and what kind of communication needs to flow in what direction and who's responsible for what communication. Like when does the district make comment, when does Advantage Hope make comment, and press releases and things like that. So more work is being done there. And then yeah, the Lions Club and the Yellow Stork site thing was this weekend, so that's fresh in my mind, but it was a lot of fun. It was over 2 days. And yeah, 56 barrels sponsored mostly by local businesses in the community, and all the funds raised go, well, the majority of the funds raised are going to Hope Search and Rescue. And they were out there in the riverboat retrieving barrels, and they spent, pretty much all day out in the river. So that's not cheap for them to run their jet boat out there, but it was a really good event. And for the first time, the Lions Club getting involved, and we went from Yale to Hope instead of from Hell's Gate to Yale. So we tried making it a bit more of a community event, and there was a lot of people that came down to the barbecue. We had live music and kid stuff, and Fraser Health was there with their Live 5210 program. So it was a really good community event. We hope to build on it next year.
Yeah, it was a good event.
We got our floating festival coming up next weekend, next Saturday at Cockaway Lake. So we're inviting everybody out there with tubes and floaties and whatnot just to come be a part of enjoying summer.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. Yeah, that barrel race event was quite fun. I went to spent an hour and a half there. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good job. Councillor Erickson.
So, thanks. So, I'm the only one on the council that's going on this cycling tour. But
Yeah, just point that out.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are. Taking one for the team.
I'll do a motorcycle one.
thanks to Donna and John. This is their jerseys.
Awesome.
They're going to be wearing.
Like it.
Hot shots.
And anyway, we've been cycling lots. This morning, just for example, this morning I was going to head out and go to Agassiz and back. So I left at 6 o'clock and I just flew to the second hill. You know, the first hill by Joap, and the second hill. And then the smoke got really bad, so I thought, well, I better turn around and come back. And then, not realize the wind was blowing. So I was down to 12 Ks riding back home, 12 Ks. That's usually go, what, 24 to 30, 12 Ks.
Yeah.
And the wind was just whistling. When I got home, I said, man, I'm glad my wife didn't come with me, because I hear complaints. It was a tough ride. Another thing, I've been riding a lot up Othello, and it would be really nice to get that road paved. That is so bad. It's tough, it really is. It's actually quite dangerous if the trucks are coming down, because it's so rough, you gotta get way out to the ditch. So, but it's not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday the ride starts, and it goes from Cloverdale, and we do 114 or 18 kilometers the first day. 115 kilometers the first day, and then the second day we go from Chilliwack to here, and it's 108, something like that. And right now there's registered over 3,400 riders, 3,400. So I don't know how I've never gone in a race like this to ride with 3,400. 2 or 3 is a maximum I was doing. So I don't know how it's going to function, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to end up here in Hope. 3,400 ending up here in Hope on the Sunday, 2 Sundays from yesterday.
26.
20. So
26. Yeah.
So it's going to be a huge thing for Hope, and I'm glad I can participate. I'm looking forward to riding with John and Donna for sure. So
I'll
it's
be
gonna-
in the back.
We'll ride in together. Anyway, and then another thing, this remuneration thing, I just was gonna comment on that too with you. I'm just wondering if I really think this council should be doing it, because then it would take effect next council, because then if we vote in and the people don't want it, they can vote us out. But I think that would be the nicest way, because if you're actually, like if our council said we're gonna do it effective during our period of time, I think there could be some people would say, they're trying to get, but I think if it was done for the next council, I think it'd look a little better, and if we're gonna do it.
Right. Your worship, that is possible. Of course, I would recommend then that we provide information and you consider that and debate it amongst yourselves in a committee of the whole. Bring it forward to regular council and then take a vote at that point. We can provide you with like-sized community information, and if you so wish, or obviously that's your decision.
So another thing I was just saying regarding the fire too, when you're going down along the Hague Highway, there's 5 places along the highway where the fire has started, where they put the fire out along the side of the highway where people maybe throw cigarettes or something. There's 5 that I noticed this morning when I went by, which is really, really serious, because any one of those could get out of hand. So everybody's got to be really careful with cigarettes thrown out or whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Do people still do it?
Yes.
I have a question, I guess, just talk about next council. There's a meeting coming up for sort of orientation.
We have a potential candidate orientation meeting scheduled for the 5th of September, which will consist of 2 parts. Sort of the election mechanics, nomination papers, the procedure, and then also what it's like, expectations and roles of councillors and mayor. We've created a tab on the website. We've put that out socially. There are now 3 videos on the website for anyone considering being a councillor or a mayoral candidate. And the idea behind it is to give these individuals the information before they submit their nomination papers, and give them really that meat they need to make a good decision, as opposed to potentially filing papers and then having a change of heart. Or, but at least they'll be, I guess, that much more sure that what they're going to do is really what they want to do in serving the community. Because it is a hard decision. As you know, your life is laid bare, and it's not necessarily a happy and always satisfying for your term, but it's rewarding in its own way.
Yeah, good work from staff.
Okay, that's
Interesting.
I just forgot one more thing. They are looking for volunteers for the Conquer Cancer Weekend, and I filled out my application and took it to the info center. So if you've got time on that weekend at any time, just fill out the application and be there.
Good point. They need more people.
They do.
It's going to be a huge benefit to our community too.
And it's not just gonna be this year, it's gonna be, they're planning for 10 years, a long period of time. So it's something that's just starting. And I think 3,400 riders, plus there's gonna be at least 3,400 people picking them up. Because someone's gotta come out here and pick them up, you know, pick up the vehicle, or pick up. the
Traffic
bikes.
jams and hope.
So it's gonna be a lot of people.
It's a lot of summer.
It's a lot of economic spin-off.
Yeah.
The sculpture that they're having done, that's going to be donated to the district.
Yeah.
We will have a presentation piece prepared for the district, 2 jerseys, one from the race and one from our team with a brass plaque, celebrating this inaugural race, which we can put up somewhere as well. So it will grow, it'll be great.
Yeah, excellent event, for sure.
As long as we can make it home.
You'll make it.
We'll drop behind Donna.
Oh, sure.
No, I'll be behind you, John.
Okay, thank you very much, Council. And permits and bylaws, item 8A, official community plan amendment bylaw 1430-2018 pertaining to 65771 Gardner Drive. Jeremy and Haley Feltrin are the proponents. And this is pertaining to a public hearing we had last council meeting, and there were no objections at that meeting. So the recommendation is that District of Hope official community plan amendment bylaw 1430-2018 be adopted in order to redesignate the property legally described at 65771 Gardner Drive from urban suburban residential to country residential. Motion to that effect. Okay. Councillor Erickson moving, Councillor Stewart seconding. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Thank you. Item B, pertaining to the same issue, that District of Hope zoning amendment bylaw 1431-2018 be adopted in order to rezone the property legally described at 65771 Gardner Drive from single-family residential RS1 to country residential CR1.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Business license amendment bylaw 1433-2018 is item C, and recommendation that District of Hope business license amendment bylaw 1433-2018 be adopted this 13th day of August. Motion to that effect. So moved. Councillor Medlock, thank you. Councillor Stewart. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Contrary? Motion carries. Item D, report from our Director of Community Development, and Mr. Gill is gone today, but Ms. Brittany Ackland is capably filling his shoes. And there's an application for zoning text amendment to commercial transition zone, proponents Kelton Contracting. That's pertaining to the 4th Street and 5th Avenue property we discussed before. That District of Hope zoning amendment bylaw 1436-2018 be given a first and second reading in order to increase the maximum site coverage permitted to the commercial transition C5 zone for a one-family residence from 35% density to 45% density. And further that the public be notified in accordance with the District of Hope application procedures and public hearing information meeting procedure bylaw number 1393, the Local Government Act and Community Charter. We have a motion to that effect. So moved. Councillor Medlock moving that motion. Seconder, please.
Second.
Councillor Smith seconding. Okay. Councillor Erickson.
Yeah, I was looking at D and E. It's the same piece of property, isn't it?
Same piece of property, yes.
Okay, and why is one Kelton Contracting, the other Eco Development?
Well, they're related to the same application, but they're not done by the same agent. So Kelton Contracting is doing the application for the variance or for the C5 text amendment, but although it's for the same property, they're 2 separate applicant forms in that sense.
Why wasn't it the same app?
I was out of town,
Okay, there we go.
and George applied on my behalf. Sorry if I'm allowed to interject.
No,
Thank you.
no, I just wondered, it looked like the same property, I just
Yeah.
wondered if there's something that we don't know about it.
George just applied on my behalf, this one was not around.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Okay. Motion's on the table. All those in favor? Contrary, motion carries. Item E, report from our Director of Community Development pertaining to development variance permit for 452, 460, 470 4th Street and 858 5th Avenue for Eco Developments. Recommendation that council approve the issuance of a development variance permit for the future parcels to be created through lot line adjustments and currently legally described as, and it lists the 4 legal descriptions as I mentioned before. And the intent is to relax both interior lot line setbacks from 1.5 meters to 1.2 meters for contemplated lots A to E, and also relax the interior lot line setbacks from 1.5 to 1.2 meters, and relax the exterior lot setback from 3.5 meters to 3 meters for contemplated lot F. And further, for the purposes of Section 504 of the Local Government Act, substantial start shall mean the placement of a foundation for any of the contemplated single-family dwellings. Motion to that effect.
Second.
Okay. Second, Councillor Erickson, Councillor Smith. Comments from staff? Anything additional? Anything needed? Nope. Okay.
And no comments were made.
Okay. All those in favor? Contrary? Carries. Item F, report from our Director of Community Development pertaining to a development variance permit for 66047 Ogilview Drive, Alberts being the proponent. That council approve the preparation of a development variance permit for the future parcels to be created through subdivision, and currently described as we have 66047 Ogilview Drive in order to, and there's 3 elements to it: relax the minimum lot depth from 30 meters to 14.96 meters for both contemplated lots 2 and 3. Relax the front lot line setbacks from 7.5 meters to 1.5 meters for both contemplated lots 2 and 3, and relax the rear lot setbacks from 4.5 meters to 1.5 meters for both contemplated lots 2 and 3. And further that, the additional setback of 7.5 meters shall be required for the panhandle access strip for both contemplated lots 2 and 3. Further that, the additional setback of 4.5 meters shall be required for the easterly most boundary for contemplated lots 2 and 3. And further that, the purpose of Section 504 of the Local Government Act, substantial start shall mean the approval of the subdivision plan by the approving officer, and further that in accordance with the District Local Application Procedures and Public Hearing Information bylaw of the Local Government Act and the Community Charter, authorize staff to issue a notice of intent to consider approval of the DVP to the neighboring property owners. Motion to that effect, please.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, Councillor Smith and Councillor Dial, and Councillor Medlock speaking to the motion.
So my question is, these are all proposed subdivisions, so when the subdivision, what is the process for the subdivision? It seems like it's a bit of cart before the horse, asking for setbacks before the actual lots are determined.
Fair enough. Through Mayor Victor, the reason we're doing this first is because their subdivision plan may potentially change depending on the outcome of the variance. The reason for the variance is basically a lot orientation change. So instead of having 3 lots this way, we're allowing the 2 to go the other way. Basically preserving the lake view for both properties, and also because there is a slope there, it allows it to be built, on maybe 2 ledges versus up and down. So if this is, the variance is permitted, then the subdivision would follow, and the subdivision, these would be tied to the subdivision.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Erickson?
So are you looking at the setbacks on the final plan, just to make sure I'm reading it right? There's only 1.5 and 1.5 between the 2 houses? 1.5 meters, so that's only
Not
3
between,
meters?
sorry, through the mayor, not between the houses, but between the lot lines, so between the property lot line.
Well, it's 1.3, 1.5, 1.5, so that's only 3 meters between the 2 houses.
Looking at the larger blue and are you looking at the larger blue square? So that would be, those buildings are shown if the variance would not be permitted, what it would look like without a variance. And then the building footprint, so the larger rectangle building
Are
would
you on
be.
page 61? I'm looking on page 61, on the actual subdivision. It looks like it's 1.5 meters, 1.5 meters between the 2 houses, that's only not even 10 feet.
So this is part of the applicant's proposal to us, showing what the intent would be, and then the one as part of our report is showing what it would look like with the variance applied.
Well, that is the variance applied on this one, isn't it?
Well, these are,
Looks to me like it is. Took me a while to figure it out, but that's what I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, that would be.
That setback doesn't change, right?
Mhm.
so yeah, 3 meters between the buildings, yes, sorry, you're correct. So 1.5 meter setback, so there would be a 3 meter setback between those buildings, minimum.
And then only, on the outside lot lines, it'd be 1.5 meters from the side of the house to the outside part. So
That's
it's only 4 feet, a little bit more,
From the side, yes.
not even 5 feet. Pretty tight. Is that,
In a residential zone, the regular residential zone, the interior lots are normally only 1.5 meters.
from the outside of the house?
From the so the house can be 1.5 meters normally in a residential zone from the side lot line, so if both neighbors did that regularly, that would be the distance.
Yeah. So this is a normal thing? This isn't making it too tight for,
Yeah, so the orientation is, the way that the orientation is, they basically just turned it, and it's mostly to, again, to preserve the lake view and to allow for the slope. So the reason we did requesting the variance for, the front lot line, and the reason we added the 2 conditions is so that they still basically have the same conditions that any RS1 zone would have. And so instead of looking to get just the variance they're requesting, we also shortened the conditions on the front and the rear, so they have the same as any other lot line. So we basically are just changing the orientation, instead of facing the road this way, they're adding a panhandle and switching it this way.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, motions on the table, additional comments? All those in favor? Contrary? Motion carries, thank you. Item 9A, motion to receive the correspondence. Councillor Stewart moving. We have a seconder. Councillor Smith seconding. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Thank you, council. And question period from the public relevant to the agenda. Friendly, unfriendly, or indifferent questions will be entertained. None today. Okay, and our next council meeting will be Monday, August 27th. Same place, same time.
Only much longer.
Correct. Yeah, I think it will be.
And I will not be in attendance.
Well, thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate it. Yeah.